Welcome back to Han Took Shots First. This week we're discussing the newest episode of Skeleton Crew, Can't Say I Remember No at Attin. I'm Derek.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Whitney.
And I already said this is Han Took Shots First. Chut chut.
Chut
Chut chut. I'm so proud of Whitney.
Welcome back. Here we are.
Hi.
Woo.
Are you proud of me? I paused for you. I was like, all right, this is Jack's podcast, not Whitney's.
Oh, I'm so happy.
And this is on the episode where none of us can remember anything, apparently.
Can't say I remember no Attin. I mean, as soon as he started saying it that like methodically, I was like, oh shit, it's a block. Like he definitely does remember Attin. It was kind of when I saw the title, I was like, oh, that phrase is going to mean more than just he's a big dummy robot.
Yeah. I thought that in the very first episode. I was like, there's a block there.
Yeah, I mean, but it became really obvious. Like, especially, like, it was like the second time he said it in this episode. Because he said it again, and you're like, it's weird that you would say it the exact same way. But then he said it again a couple minutes later, and it's like, I gotcha.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I thought it was set up to be like an accidental block, you know, like the fucking crash landing or something. Not
that's what I was
got,
thinking.
Which was fucking awesome ending. Have we talked about the fact that SM-33 is a practical puppet?
I don't know if we said it on the podcast, but we've talked about it.
And we'll talk about it a bit more at the end, but it gets you some really fucking cool shots. Like the very first episode that we see him walking up to the pirate port and just start launching people off fucking frame. Like his intro to that is so menacing and fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and it always helps when light strikes an object.
Always.
Especially if it's supposed to be an intimidating object.
Yeah. But he's not always supposed to be intimidating.
No, but he can be, as we see.
He is.
So this one aired December 17th. That's yesterday for those of you listening to it as soon as it comes out, in case you don't know what day of the week it is or day of the month.
It often helps. And
I tried to time it this time, as we talked about that before with all the credits and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then I forgot to hit my stop part, but it was basically exactly 30 minutes. And I think the thing said 34. So it's not that much extra. Here. Or did it say 39?
I think it said 39, and I ended up getting 39. It at 30 minutes and 52 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot to hit stop on my stopwatch, so I went
last night I went back and rewatched episode 3, and about the same thing, like very, very similar run times.
Okay. So we are getting like a half hour.
It's not as bad as it's not nearly as bad as Acolyte, where it's like, wait, that was like a 20-minute episode.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's like 28 minutes, but you have previously on an intro and a 17
that 8 minutes starts to be much more significant.
Yeah. This one was directed by the Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. They're most famous for Everything Everywhere All at Once. They won every Oscar that exists, I think.
Damn, Daniels.
And they also did Swiss Army Man.
We've talked about that on the main feed, I believe.
Yeah, and they got famous. I think they mostly did a lot of music videos, which I guess you can kind of see, not in this so much, but in their other stuff. I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once has a very like poppy kinetic vibe kind of thing going on. So
still haven't seen it, mostly on principle.
All right, well, it's not very good, so you should definitely watch it.
Please hold, I'll be right back. I mean, that's a better way to get me to do it than what everybody did was tell me it's the best thing that's ever been made. I'm like,
it's the worst thing.
You can't live up. No, just tell me it's okay. It's like that's fine.
No, I didn't watch it 3 times in theaters and buy it on 4K as soon as it came out.
I feel like you did.
He did.
And this was written again by Christopher Ford and John Watts. So we don't have to go into that. At least that's what IMDb said. Who knows? Because they're not all up to date. But so the first thing that comes up right before we hit play, I saw the tagline. and it's our heroes face a surprise in a familiar setting. And I mean, my first thought is, at Attin, right? Because that's the name of the title, the name of the episode and stuff. But then immediately I was like, oh, these motherfuckers going to Tatooine.
Oh, please no, dude. A little small backwater town where nothing happens ever.
I was thinking it was going to be kind of like what it was, because in the first episode they talk about how there's like 9 of the same at somethings at A's.
Sure.
Well, they didn't say that was they were all called that. She just said it was like there's the
9 jewels of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
But then in this we find out. Oh, you're good. In this we find out. Yeah, it's like at Akron, at Astra, at Baloney, at me,
Atlanta. AT. Oh wait, no, that's just at. No, I was just gonna say I was surprised we got as much reveal as we did, even though it wasn't a whole bunch. I did not think that they were going to be going right to this planet. I thought there was going to be something awry where they couldn't punch in those coordinates right away, but nope, they were there. Well, thought they were home. Yeah. And I was like, oh damn, well that's kind of boring. Maybe, excuse me. What I was hoping is if that was going to be at Attin, I was hoping now we can get some mystery behind it, the haunted suburbs, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the beginning. I mean, I liked what ended up happening, but at the beginning when they get there, like that autopilot thing starts pulling them in, and like Whitney pointed out, there was no grid. I was like, well, there was those things floating around it, but they were all shut down. Mm-hmm. And the autopilot thing starts pulling them in, and I was like, okay, this is because ships aren't supposed to come here. So if you do, you go to this one place. And like I was still thinking, and it's probably the same situation. But I was like, and they get there, and Wim has that whole thing about maybe we fell asleep for 100 years, and
I love
we're in the
that.
future, just like that book I read or whatever.
They're like, this is not a story.
Which is definitely a book that I haven't read. I'm sure that's a Legends book or comic book. What we didn't talk about is the fact, because I never read this one, is that Captain Jack is a mostly non-canon name. I don't think it's canon anymore.
Jack
sorry,
Crimson?
Crimson Jack?
Crimson
Jack.
Jack.
Crimson Jack. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Crimson Jack is from the old Marvel comics. It's the reason Jabba was still after Han Solo after that first movie. Uh-huh. So
yeah, I saw an article about that after the episode, of course, because we're doing this like at 7:30 or well 8:30, but we're doing it right after the show came out at 7.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
we don't have time. For
I
all
enjoyed
that stuff
everything's fresh. I just it's ones I haven't read, so it's not in my fucking memory banks. I have my memory wiped. All right.
I saw the thing and I was like, Crimson Jack. I was like, that's just Jack. That's my co-host.
Well, new name unlocked. Can't say remember no Crimson Jack.
Well, if I'm sure you don't get these things recommended in your Google Discover feed, but it was a thing about Crimson Jack in the comic book. He's a guy with a red beard and like a red mullet, so it's a little shorter than Jack's hair. It's not a
is
mullet.
it a mullet or is it just hair?
No, it's. I mean,
it's like Kurt Russell,
shoulder length hair, but not
Kurt Russell in The Thing.
There's a lot of people running around these days calling their hair mullets, and the top is the same length as the back. They just slick the whole thing back, so I'm going to say mullet.
It's not a mullet.
Well, that's what everybody else is saying.
It's just a brush back.
Ooh, I didn't know.
But I do like when they get down there, and obviously there's this smoke and stuff everywhere, like Silent Hill.
Taste ashy.
Yeah, Jude Law. I wrote down Judd because it was easier, but I hate saying it. So Jude Law.
I do like singing it though, because ever since last episode, it's just like I'll be in the shower, just na wood.
Would.
And Jod isn't that different from Jude, but for some reason Jude sounds normal and Jod sounds stupid. So.
That's such a stupid thing, but you're right.
But yeah, he has that thing about like it tastes like ashy dust, just like my home planet.
Okay, that could be a very dark joke, because people noticed in the last episode when they said when they mentioned Alderaan and the owl lady, voiced by Cousin Maybe from Arrested Development. She says like, "Oh, missed the war, did you?" And Jude Law had a face on him like, kind of, I don't know, remorseful. He could have been from Alderaan.
That's really fucked up then.
Oh,
and so
shit.
he's
really
like, it tastes like ash and dust. Like, yeah, because your fucking planet's in orbit of another fucking body.
Oh my goodness.
Your planet is now an asteroid belt.
Like, good Lord.
They leave him behind, and I love Nick Frost's thing here, like initiating babysitting sequence.
Come on, baby, get inside, baby.
And they
Don't
didn't
make
have
me count.
Yeah, they had most of it not on camera, so it makes me think that he was just riffing, and they were just like, "Well, we don't need to animate it. We'll just show Jude Law looking sad as he goes up the ramp, and it's just Nick Frost in there. Come on, little baby."
Yeah,
Do you
it's
think-
pretty fucking stellar.
Do you think that Nick Frost got to be actually like on set to at least say his words so people could?
I would be surprised if he wasn't with the way that they're filming these recently.
Right,
not for everything, but I think especially like this scene right here, you could have him just on the other side of this volume or whatever, be yelling things off screen. Even if they're using his audio, Jude Law is engaging with somebody instead of just a fucking giant puppet.
exactly. Like how
For sure.
in Solo, what's her name? She played
Phoebe Waller.
Yeah.
Phoebe Waller.
Yeah, her. How she's like actually physically there, like acting everything out.
Yeah.
K2SO Rogue One had Alan Tudyk there, so I mean, like,
Yeah.
See,
and I know that's a movie as opposed to a streaming show, but
still Disney.
it works.
I mean, they're
better that
spending
way.
more money on these shows than they are on those movies. So
That's crazy. When I heard how much Obi-Wan cost, dude, it was crazy to me.
well, and it was Acolyte. That's part of the reason it got canceled, because it costs like $200 million or like $100 million per episode or something fucking crazy.
You know, we're never going to get Acolyte season 2, and I've come to terms with that.
I want to kill them.
Just come to terms with that. Life is easier when you let go.
You can't make me.
But
Well,
I do hope and think there's a chance to have characters from that appear in other properties. If they do a High Republic streaming service or something like that, you can have Manny Jacinto back. You could have not Martian Rowe. What's her name? Vanestra Rowe.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Martian
Vanestra Rowe.
Rowe.
Like
That's someone I want to see in live action.
I would love to see Martian Rowe, dude. If you can give me
He's
the
fucking
Nihil in
terrifying.
live
Is she
action,
the
we're having a
Twi'lek?
good time.
No, Martian Rowe is a bad guy from the High Republic books. We talked about during Acolyte how we're like, maybe they're related because they're both Rowe, but it's different. It's R-O and R-W-O-H.
Yeah. Someone just liked the last name. I mean, even though they kind of appear in the same books, I think.
Yeah, because that's why I started reading the High Republic books, because of Acolyte, and I was like, well, this is where Vanestra Rowe appears. She shows up in the second book like 3 times. Doesn't really do much, but
anyway, I think
Martian Rowe is the leader of the Nihil, who are like
space
the
pirates.
fucking craziest pirates you've ever seen. It would be really cool to see live.
So that's my hope, is we get some form of High Republic show or movie, and we can have these characters, because Manny Jacinto and his character were not the problem with the Acolyte. If people, I mean, even the people that were like, that fucking show sucked, except Kamira was awesome. So
Yeah,
there's hope for that. And he's out there champion right now, if you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's still working on it. He's like, it's gonna happen one day, and you know what? He's just got to wait for the fall of capitalism, and Disney will collapse, and then he can make his own movie.
Yep.
It'll just be a bunch of people with cardboard armor and stuff, but it'll be cool.
Hey, Star Wars
I would
started
still
off
watch
as a
it.
fucking independent film, so
But back on the ship, like Jod is searching around, like looking for shit, and I think this is where he finds the Republic credits that he ends up using later. But he finds the projector thing that starts playing that holiday special music, and I had flashbacks.
so did he, I think, dude. He was like, oh, close that shit up. I'm not playing with that Tamagotchi.
But this is where Smee tells him, like, he's like, yeah, it's at Akron. I've been here before. So Akron, not Attin. He's like, it's a dangerous place. I know it well. And he's, what about Attin? He's like, it does remind me of. Can't say I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is the first time he's like, I think at Akron is messing with my memory banks. And he's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You've been here?
You know the name of this place?
Yeah. We find out he's been here in force.
Yeah.
They find a statue of like the leader of the planet that kids do.
It's King No Head.
Yeah.
King No Head. You really think that's his name? And
Why not?
Fucking whim, dude. It just could be. I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know me.
I like these kids the more and more. Like they never were bugging us off the bat, but they are just they're getting their jive in.
They really are.
Yeah, and the one, I mean, you expect it because you've seen 1,000 80s kids shows and movies, but the one that's like supposed to be the one you least suspect being the one to step up and become like the hero of the group
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
mean,
does
some of
that in
that's
this group, in this episode.
some of that's telegraphed, but it's fine because we're talking about kids on bikes in space.
So they run into this girl, Hannah. We find out her name is played by a girl named Hala Finley. And it's funny because a lot of the people in these shows have accents because they mostly use European actors because, they're cheaper. But this girl with a French accent is played by a girl from Missouri. And the only thing I noticed on her credits that was anything I recognized but I've not seen, and I probably won't ever, is Venom: The Last Dance. She plays Echo
yes, I
Moon.
am from Nebraska, you say? Oh, wait, no, she's French.
She's French. Oui, oui.
Oui,
But
Nebraska.
I got vibes real quick of because she's got this French accent and she's like a resistance fighter.
Yeah.
I started thinking of the mole from South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Okay, I was going to go a little bit. I fucking hate Hattins. I was going to go a little more real world. The French underground, like the fucking French underground during World War II is what it made me think of. And I think that's why they're doing the French accents in the first place. But honestly, I like it because like, I remember Bill Burr got a bunch of flack for like, well, oh great. Now there's Jersey accents in Star Wars. Why are Boston? Why are there Boston accents in Star Wars? And he's like, why are there fucking English accents in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like,
because Imperial is right there in the name, dude.
And who fights the fucking Empire better than anybody? People from fucking Boston. All right, 1777, bro.
They threw their space tea into the harbor.
They dumped out all the spice.
So I'm just noticing the way the camera's set up and me looking down at you guys. It just looks like I'm really drunk or really high because I'm looking down. But I promise the listeners and viewers, I only just started drinking.
Sure.
This is my first 5-ounce glass of whiskey.
Yeah, I pulled a pretty
So that
hefty
implies
one.
he's having another one after that.
Well, if you start, you can't stop or you go to bed.
Yeah.
It hurts.
So yeah, she's talking about she's a troik and
I'm sorry, a what?
troik.
I can't hear you. I can't understand you.
A click.
Troik.
You didn't hear what I said? It's a click. Do you not understand my Nebraskan accent? It's flawless.
I am a trois.
A trois. I root for the Huskers, you know. And those people from Wisconsin with their cheese, they don't know cheese.
I love that corn.
The corn.
Whose idea was it?
Who's like that was the corn?
So yeah, they're hiding from the Attin patrol, who are wearing the exact same uniforms but red. And this looks like a child army exclusively.
Yeah.
The Troik, the Hattins look like all adults. We end up finding out there are adults.
Yes,
I'm wondering if they're related.
Well,
It's
I mean,
like
It's the Hattonfields and the
Hattins and the
Matroiks.
and the McTroiks, dude. I mean, yeah, definitely. We know they both came from both clans came from this planet.
It's
What
probably
flag do you
brothers
fly?
arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Just
We'll probably
brothers.
never find out, or at least not in this series. Maybe it's a spinoff.
Maybe I think we will find out. I think what happened to all these planets, I don't know. I feel like it's the supervisor from Attin that did it to all these other planets.
Oh,
Yeah,
1,000%.
that's exactly what Whitney said.
The captain is
Attin's supervisor.
Wim's mom.
Okay, we did talk about
The captain is
that.
Wim's mom, and it's the supervisor because she landed there and was like, "Cool, I know what's best. I'm going to keep this treasure for myself."
Yeah,
And the
'cause-
treasure is her little shithead son.
Yeah, she stumbled upon this planet and found the coordinates to the last surviving one because people knew of it, and then destroyed them because
Yep.
we find that out later. And she's like, now I'm going to go hide there as a pirate queen that no one knows about.
Totally
Yep.
respect.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why the supervisor doesn't see anybody.
Or just because the dad's all bumbly, numbly, wumbly, he really is the
Mhm.
supervisor and nobody knows it.
Nobody
But
sees
I
the
like-
supervisor, not no way, not no how.
I like that. I like your theory on it being the mom because Smee is so totally kosher with Fern being the captain. He's like, yeah, female captains totally makes sense. Got
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
Yeah, he's not
a
sexist.
robot. They're not sexist, I don't think. Have
Most
we
of
met a
them are.
sexist droid?
I've met a sexy droid, I'll tell you that much.
So have I.
Anyway. So then we go.
You
we
tell me
go
you don't
back-
look at the curves of R2-D2 and go, wow.
curves. He's literally shaped like a tube.
Yeah, not at the
That's
top.
That's a Death Star. Hold
Shaped
on.
like a titty.
Oh, she's got to get out her squishy balls.
The ones that smell like chocolate.
Don't taste those. They're from Taiwan.
But so we go back to the Troy base, and we meet General Strix, and I could not find who the actor was. Again, there's credits, but they don't say as General Strix or whatever. So I tried to search the internet, but it's not out there yet.
There was a half a second where I was like, motherfucker, is this Peter Stormare? And I would have just lost my shit.
There was a half a second. I was like, is that Michael Douglas?
Oh God, I would not have lost my shit.
When it was just the shadow, and I think it was the nose and stuff, but like I could see there was color in his hair, so I was like, well, unless they did a lot of work.
Yeah, well, no, it was literally a split second. I was like, oh God, no, it's not. I've seen this guy before. I've seen him in things. I just
when you see, he might be familiar. Probably Game of Thrones.
Probably.
When you see the shadow, you have to know it's Alec Baldwin. Duh.
Listen to our other podcast, Bad Movies, Worst People. We did this.
Maybe don't listen to that episode. I don't know.
You do what you want. I don't tell you what to do.
No, you listen to them all. Huh? Listen to them all, especially starting in March of 2024.
Like a Pokemon.
Because that's when we started getting ads. So, but yeah, they talk about basically the gist of this is like they're going to train with these guys to try to find the fallen sanctum, which has some kind of information that maybe it'll give them what they need to get to Attin. So.
And I had a feeling this fallen sanctum was going to be the supervisor's spot. Like, that's why this place is in disarray. There is no supervisor. There's no robots to keep him safe from danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
I wonder if that can't exclusively be an Attin thing. Because where they're hiding out right now to hide from the other army is in one of the derelict buses. It has the same driver that they have it for Star Tours.
No, this planet is exactly the same. It's got the same school. It's got the same supervisor tower. And the supervisor tower is in the same place. All that stuff.
Yes, Whitney, go.
Another reason why the captain has to be the supervisor. You know, they ordered Smee to cut off the coordinates or whatever and kill anybody who wanted to know, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
They put the grid up over the planet so nobody can come in or leave without.
Well, this planet had a grid too, because you see the things floating in space.
They were all hidden.
Alexa, stop! I could hear
Alexa.
Alexa.
What's that about a grid?
But no,
you want me to make a grid? I'll make a grid right fucking now over your fucking house.
Like it has to. The captain has to be the supervisor because they're like, we are protecting this planet, and I know how badly everybody out here wants to be here.
Yeah. But the thing is, according to Kimimima, it was already protected. These were hidden away from the Old Republic. The captain, unless the captain's not human, she's not alive from the Old Republic. There are very few. Even Yoda wouldn't be alive from the Old Republic. That's like
maybe she's not human.
I mean, she would have to be 15 to 25,000 years old, though.
But I think it's more
because we do have a year for this. I'm so sorry. We do have a year for this. It's 9 ABY.
Okay, so it's about the same time as Mando season 3 and Ahsoka, which is what we were thinking.
How did we find that out?
I read it on one of the StarWars.coms.
Cheater.
That makes it official because it's StarWars.com.
Well, I always go
someone
through,
not someone on Reddit fucking saying I think it's 9 ABY.
Yeah, and
that was the theory going in.
Neil's not an Ortolan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
you told me, so I believe you.
Did we talk about it while we were recording, or did we talk about it another time? I looked it up and it just said he's an elephant species, an elephant-like species.
If we did talk about it, just ignore this, but I think it's because they wanted to have this kid be a cute little Ortolan, but then somebody figured out that Ortolans walk like the Dugs do on their arms, or they walk on their arms and use their feet to like play keyboards. And
what's his name? Secundus?
They use their feet to play keyboards.
Max Rebo did.
I know.
All of them do.
It's just all
across the galaxy.
Keyboards.
You find me an Ortolan not playing keyboards with his toes, dude. And I'm going to show you a fake fucking Ortolan.
Well, since I only know one Ortolan, I'm going to... Personally, I only know one.
I'm stereotyping like a motherfucker. But yeah, I think once they realize that, they're like, we can't CG that. So
all white people sing like Bob Dylan.
I was going to say Randy. What's his name?
Randy Newman.
Newman. I almost said Randy Johnson.
Not Randy Johnson. I want to see Randy Newman kill a pigeon.
Baseball. I threw the fastball so hard the bird exploded into feathers.
So we go back to Jude Law trying to get some information out of Smee, and he's like, I will help you with your memory. So he's like, does anything here remind you of treasure? He's like, I remember these warriors. He's like, I didn't say anything about warriors, dude. I said treasure. And here comes the Huttons or the Hattons, not Huttons.
Yeah, the Manhattans. I didn't see one girl, so they're definitely Manhattans.
And, you know, it's like, what flag do you fly? Just like Troik said earlier. And he's like, you know what? Just fucking shoot me.
I got a genuine laugh out of me, dude, because he puts his hands up like, fuck. You know what, dude? Just shoot me. I'm done. This is fucking bullshit.
His whole thing.
I love the little details. Like when he found the Old Republic credits, he did the thing that's the most pirate thing ever and put a little tooth to it. Yeah, just to see if it's real gold. That was such a great little touch.
It was.
And we have the kids doing their weapon training, and we see that like, nobody's really taking it seriously, right? They're all goofing around. I do like that you hear them in the background goofing around, and you also hear laser blasts. Like it's not goofing around, but like Neil's the only one taking it seriously.
I couldn't tell if these were like practice ones or not because it had different colors from like the bolts that I've ever seen before. So it could be that. It could be practice ones, or it could be makeshift weapons or derelict. Those are the options I think we have here.
Even and I don't trust that dad. I don't trust the papa.
No, you definitely shouldn't. He does. So, okay. His whole thing is like, we value our kids. My daughter's the one that saved you. You got to grow up fast in this fucking planet, apparently, is what he's getting at. And if you're a child, you might die in battle young, but you got to get out there. So he's kind of, giving a rah speech. But what ends up happening is he puts them on the front line. Like they're fodder to him. He doesn't give a shit about them.
Exactly.
We do get to one of the funniest things in this episode to me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, good thing we're doing video on this podcast. Because Hannah takes Neil up to the roof to show him where they live. And she shows him the super gun they have hidden there and all this stuff. and he's like, why do you guys always have wars? Like, we don't have wars. And she's like, you guys don't fight? And he's like, well, we play slap ball. And he does this like ball juggling thing with his hands.
I'm the best at it.
And I just love that he's like, never mind. And I'm like, no, continue with that.
He doesn't even say words, though, after he's like, slap ball and just starts pantomiming. And that's all he says. All I picture is him and his little fucking blue brothers just having a balloon and just keeping it in the air. Like, that's it. It's just simple as that. It's like, dude, I once went 364 hours without letting it hit the ground.
I was just thinking, is it like sack tap? They're just walking by each other at the house and they're just like,
you got both of them on that one. Whew.
And if you guys want to see me juggling balls, you can watch this on Spotify or YouTube.
He's juggling air balls.
I mean, I can give you some balls to juggle.
If you want to see me doing it for real, you have to get our OnlyFans. It's onlyfans.com/worst testicles.
It's called The Han Came First.
Han took his shot first. He probably does.
But I mean, dude, Neil is so fucking precious and just needs to be protected at all the costs.
I love me some Neil.
I love Neil. And you talked about it earlier, like he's going to be the hero step up moment. And you know it, but leading up to that, it's just done so well and so fucking charming that I don't care. I don't care how telegraphed it is. And this kid, we'll get his name a little bit later. He's fantastic, and especially because he's wearing somewhat prosthetics.
Yeah, that is a practical head. Yeah, and he's got like the stuffing in his shirt.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, obviously they have some CG going on because the way the stuff moves or whatever. But I mean, the hair and the he's wearing a costume.
Yeah.
So, and the actor, by the way, is Robert Timothy Smith.
Well, Robert Timothy Smith is fantastic.
Yeah. He makes a little elephant boy adorable. Although a little tiny elephant would be adorable anyway. So
it starts adorable, but he does a really good job.
We go back into the training and it's just a little goofy kid shit. Like KB's the good shot, not surprisingly.
Because it's just, to her, it's just math. Like it's just science, geometry.
I'm sure the visor helps. I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not built into the targeting camera, but
Well, she's also just not very good at fun, we find out. So maybe like she's like, you guys are goofing off. I just want to shoot these things because that's what I was told to do. Because she nails all three targets. And I think it's Wim goes up for a high five and she just holds her hand out like, what are we doing here?
I know. She's like, okay.
I do like Wim though, grabbing the fucking
giant one,
50 cal fucking laser, and he's like, "No, I got this," and just cranks it up to 11 and blasts it and flies back. And I mean, again, as soon as he picked it up, you were like, "He's gonna shoot it and fly back."
Yep.
But that's what they're doing. It's not You're not watching it going, oh, it's that trope. You're watching it going, okay, you guys are doing the 80s nostalgia thing. This is what the kid would do if he got the big gun.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're not reinventing the wheel here, and that's good.
You know all those 80s kids movies where they put children into like major war situations, like Rambo Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
City of God. But this is the type of gun that fucking Paz Vizsla from Mandalorian would have, the big fucking heavy dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is the type of gun he would have, and you get these little kids trying to fucking pick it up. It's awesome.
And like, so General Strix gives them weapons, and he's like, you're going to lead us into battle. And at first I thought Fern had the gun that Boba Fett has in the holiday special, and then Din Djarin uses later because it has like the prongs. But then you end up seeing they basically just gave them spears and clubs and were like, lead us into battle. So
it's not the disruptor rifle, but which is outlawed, by the way. That's a black market weapon he's using.
Of course it is.
Why wouldn't it be?
He's a Mandalorian.
It disintegrates things at a molecular level. Like, it's apparently the most pain that you would ever feel in the Star Wars universe before you die, because it sets you like just on fire at a molecular level. Crazy.
Wow. So it doesn't disintegrate you instantly.
It does, but it doesn't feel like it's to your brain synapses.
Ah, okay.
This
it gives you a couple seconds.
Thank you.
He definitely shot some Jawas with that thing.
I was gonna say, go back and watch that season 2, maybe.
I think it's season 2 when he has to fight the big rhino thing.
Yeah, the Mudhorn.
Yeah, Mudhorn.
That might be 1, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it has Quill in it.
No, it
so
is.
It's 1.
It is
it's
1 because Nick Nolte's there.
Fucking Nick Nolte's still there. You gotta fight that goddamn Mudhorn.
Yeah, in the second season, I think it's the second episode where he has to fight the spiders, and I remember hearing people comparing it to that because they were like, "Well, he already did the fight the giant animal thing," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna watch it." They could have him fight a giant animal every episode and have no overarching plot, and I'd still watch that show.
Yeah, absolutely. You can call it Mandalorian fights a big giant animal every week, and I'd be there, fucking signed up.
Mando Hunter special, the Hunter Day special.
Mando Ray-Me.
So they send him out to scout ahead when they're going into this battle. They make him do it at gunpoint. So you're like, okay, so I think they're just using. They were like, yeah, you guys can fight with us and we'll train you and you can go out. But they're just using them to get the enemies to start firing so they can find where the enemies are.
Yep.
Yeah. But once again, in Star Wars, nobody uses cover.
Maybe they like to use little kids because they're smaller, shorter. They're harder targets.
I think they're just using these kids because they don't care about them.
Well, yeah, they don't know who these people are. Obviously, I was trying to.
If they would have captured Crimson Jack, he'd be the fucking fodder.
He was. Well, I guess not.
No, to go to what Jack said though about nobody taking cover. Most of these people are in some kind of cover, except for the general who just stands like right next to cover with his big staff, and he's like, "We are going to battle," and I'm like, they could just they'll just shoot you right now.
Yeah, that part they all are behind a wall, but then like once they start advancing behind the kids, they're not far behind them, just like in the fucking middle of the goddamn street. I'm like, look at all these abandoned buildings, man. Fucking hot-footed over to one of those, man. Pop in and out.
But so Hannah volunteers to go with them because she says she's Neil's friend, and he's like,
this is an old Nebraska saying, "It's always better with a friend."
It is always better with a friend.
No matter what you're talking about, sex, pooping.
Yep.
Sex, pooping.
Did I tell you guys about the time that Amber and I went into a bathroom and it was 2 toilets facing each other so you could have best friend pee time?
Oh man, no, that's battle shits.
I fucking love it.
I mean, like,
I don't know what bar it was. I was very drunk.
It would be like you're back to back. So it's like, well, at least I could still kind of pee as long as he doesn't finish before me.
No, I want urinals that face each other. I want to look you right in the eyes while I drain.
They have them in Germany.
Ooh,
but
good.
For 2 toilets facing each other, if it was in the men's room and you're looking at each other, it means you're both taking a shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why Jack called it battle shits.
Yeah. What was that? Harold and Kumar? Where they're hiding in the girls' bathroom and the 2 girls are in different stalls and they're both trying to take a shit and they're like, "Oh, you sunk my battle shit." It's the 2 hot girls they were trying to hook up with. It's one of the Harold and Kumar movies.
Is it? No, I want to say it's not another teen movie or one of those movies.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a Harold and I don't know. They went to a college to buy weed. That's all I know. And that was where they ran into the girls, the hot girls, and then they went into the bathroom and then they had battle shits.
And they were up in the vents,
battle
right?
Shit.
He was up in the vents.
No, they were hiding in the stall.
That was John
Maybe.
McClane.
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember battle shits.
That is all I remember.
As they're going out, though, Jude Law comes out of the smoke, and I was like, oh, shit. You know, obviously your first thought is like, are the Hattons doing the same thing? They're sending out the guy they found as their first person. So,
Yeah.
like, they're both going to be in the middle of this battle. But he's like, oh, I believe these belong to you. And all these Eops, which are the reason this battle was happening, by the way. The Hattons stole their Eops.
Yeah.
They come running out, and the guy, General Strix, offers him a reward. He's like, anything you want. And he's like, I'll take the kids.
You sure you don't want guns
It's
or like skins? Hides?
Yeah, he's like, what about our best hides? And he's like, well, okay, how many hides? Ah, just kidding. He wasn't kidding.
You know I'm
He wasn't
joking.
kidding.
I wondered though, I don't think this is going to be correct because of musical cues. But they could have easily set this up where he's like, oh, I paid them off in Republic credits. No, he wiped them all out. That whole fucking camp is dead. Or less dramatic, he Jedi mind tricked him in a not so savory way. Like, well, give those fucking Eopies back.
We already know Smee is like a badass motherfucker.
Sure, absolutely. But these guys had weapons. They would have taken these guys down, I think. But he could have Jedi mind tricked them into that. But so when I said musical cues, they have a lot of the Skywalker theme for Jude Law, especially when he does the key grabby in the first or second episode, rather. That's the same tune that plays when Luke Skywalker's first kind of coming into his own. They wouldn't use that music and set him up for a bad guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with him is going to be like, you know, he's going to betray them, but then he's going to have a change of heart. You know, again, 80s nostalgia storyline.
Because he is still just trying to get to Attin. It's not necessarily that he wants them. It is that he needs them.
Yeah. Because Smee ain't taking him.
No fucking way.
You don't just get to show up like Fern did and be like, I killed the captain. Now I'm your captain.
Yeah.
And like, if he watched Jude Law kill Fern, he'd kill Jude Law.
Yeah,
I think
1000%.
so. I think so. He's looking for a reason. Ever since he put that bowl on his table and was like, "Clean it up, droid."
Yeah. Yep. We hear the story about Jude Law with the Hattons. He gave them money for the things, and that's when he's like, "Yeah, I stole your shit, but hey, you're free, right? So bygones be bygones." Hannah doesn't go with them. She can't go any further. She has to go home. Niels tries to get her to come with them, and she gives him a kiss. I'm just surprised they didn't have him turn like pink or I guess purple.
Oh, I thought that trunk was going to go just
because he's blue. So if he blushed,
his eyes got real big.
Yeah, he's forgotten all about the little green moth girl from the first episode.
Isadora or whatever her name was.
Yeah,
and you were right. It is Harold and Kumar.
I told you. Did you Google battle shits?
I did.
That's awesome. So they go to the Fallen Sanctum, which is the same thing as the Supervisor's Tower on their planet. And like we said at the beginning, they find coordinates to all these other planets, at A2, at Orisa, Atlanta, at me,
at Achan,
etc. And but they find the Attin one and brush off the dust, and the coordinates have just been like scraped out of the stone.
It looks like a saber.
That's exactly what I thought was a saber.
Right?
But I mean, it makes sense what happens because Smee is like, oh yeah, I destroyed those coordinates.
Yeah.
Did you want them?
Who would have done that? He's like, oh, I did that. When did you do that? Last time I was here. My captain ordered me to destroy the coordinates and kill everyone that knew about it.
I know nothing about Attin.
Yeah,
killed the whole crew.
And he's just so cavalier about it. Like, oh yeah, no, I know all about that. I murdered everybody. You should have been there. It was a really delightful time. I was ripping people's arms off their bodies. Like I was doing a Wookiee impersonation while I ripped them limb from limb. It was super funny. Everyone was laughing. Well, not the people dying, but like me and the captain were laughing our asses off.
The other times he's been saying can't remember no Attin, it's kind of like funny because you know what it's indicating, but the way he delivers it is always funny. But this time when he says he destroyed the coordinates, and they're like, why'd you destroy them? And he's like, destroy what? Like the coordinates. What coordinates? To Attin. Can't say I remember no Attin. That's when you get this vibe of like, oh shit. This is about to go real bad.
It's about to go real bad.
Yeah. So I think it's a cute moment because was it Wim? Fern's crying. She's like, I fucked up, dude. And he's like, no, dude, you're a great captain. You got us this far. And she's like, yeah, with luck, I almost got us killed. And he's like, no, you're awesome. You'll figure something out. And she's kind of mad. She's like, you can't just say that. Like, I'm not a droid that just does things when you tell him to. Walks away. He's like, oh shit, I did figure it out. Damn it, he's right.
Yep.
I am awesome.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it. I love that I'm this smart, but I hate that he's right. I hate that little kid.
And this is when we get the thing we were waiting for in that first episode when they found Smee.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I did the memory override thing at home.
Yeah.
So she does it again. She's like, you got to remember everything about this. And that's when he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. We killed everybody. And the captain told me to pull apart anybody limb from limb who was looking for the treasure.
From limb.
And that's, he starts doing his big
like,
thing that he did to he did it to Jude Law. He did it back on Tortuga.
Yeah.
And like, he does his get big thing. And he's like, I'm going to rip these fucking children limb from limb. And she's like, no, I'm the captain now. Don't do that. And he's like, yeah, too late.
Nah, I don't
And
care.
then
Death mode activated.
It's a really
Jude-
fun behind the body shot from like behind Smee's shot. And like, that's why I think this practical puppet is fucking slaying right here.
I also really like, and it may have been done CG just because the angle, but when they show him freaking out, it's like those shows like they used in the early 2000s, all those hidden camera shows where people would have a camera mounted on them and they'd be walking around, so it was always pointing at them. It's like that view of him, and he's just like you don't see him getting bigger, you just see the background getting lower,
smaller.
and you hear the Transformer noises, but without anybody yelling Sam Witwicky. But like, it's just that it's kind of a cheesy shot, but it was just really cool because of the sounds and the way it was done.
Well, Jude tries to shoot him, but his little saber thingy isn't working.
These Fallout weapons aren't good enough. Dude.
Yeah.
He didn't spec into weapon crafting enough.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's only got like
He rolled a
30%
nat one.
efficiency.
Back to
or
it being
something.
like not terrifying. It's a kid's movie or a kid's show. So I mean, like we can have it be unnerving and stuff, but we don't need it to be actually scary.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's this is perfect, like kid scary. It's our cuddly robot friend is now gonna kill us.
Perfect kid scary.
I mean, Jude did say that they will always disappoint you.
Yeah. They'll let you
And
down.
at the last second is when Neil throws a rock at him. Just throwing a rock at a droid is always funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Come over here, you big turd bucket." He doesn't say, I don't know. But
You big
so the thing
bully.
turns to him and starts going after him, and that's when Jude Law does
Fucking
like a
bum
barrel
rushes
roll
him.
and comes in and just switches him off. And
he
that's kind of
comments-
the end. I mean,
he comments on what I thought, like, I was like, why does nobody do that? And he kind of like, always go for the off switch.
yeah,
Always. Like, not enough people do that.
you've got to have the back exposed. That's why.
And this is an
Now,
older
usually,
droid.
if you've got a killer droid coming at you, usually the back isn't just exposed. It's in
True.
front of you.
This is also an old, it's presumably an older droid because the ship
Yeah.
is old. So
Because it's like behind his ear right here, right?
yeah,
I think it was in like the middle of. I didn't see where he reached for
it's
it. It
right
seemed
where
like it
you
was,
would
like,
give
middle
the
of his
Vulcan
back, but-
death grip.
Oh, was it up in the? Okay.
I don't know. I just wanted a reason to do that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. There's more intrigue coming. They're like, what the fuck do we do now? And that's kind of it, because they don't have nowhere to go now.
I do
Yeah.
hate that they're so short. Like, at least make it 40 minutes. Give me a couple more minutes.
I don't know. I mean, at least it's
agree.
30 minutes.
I agree, but I'm not too disappointed. Again, we talked about with Acolyte, some of those were just like, we just started going. This I felt like wrapped up pretty well as a serial kind of.
Okay.
Well, it's not just, it is a small piece of the big story, but it's not just like,
Drip feeding us.
it's not like an Acolyte where it was like, but you did know that person. Wait till next week.
This is
it's
kind
like,
of drip feeding. The thing is, the fountain's bigger. It's fatter drops. It's not like
well,
you're not
it's
starving.
drip feeding in the sense of a normal television serial. Like
Yes.
you don't get, you wife, you like to watch shows, especially from like the 2000s and stuff, where they were still 20 something episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they say that you do the same fucking time, the stupid problem through the whole fucking episode
Yeah, and
series.
you got to sit through. It's a 24 episode season, and 18 episodes is to solve one problem that could have been solved in 2.
Yeah. Go
This
fuck
is
yourself.
just like, here's the next piece, and I feel like my guess would be that the next thing will be, okay, well, we don't know where to go, so we'll go to one of these other. We're gonna go to At Me.
Yep.
and we're gonna find out what's going on there. We're gonna go to, you know, whatever, and find out and try to find the coordinates. And I have a feeling it'll be kind of probably not through the whole thing, because I mean this is episode 4 of 12, but they'll probably go to at least one, if not two more, and be like, okay, well, we didn't find anything here, or maybe next episode it'll be like, we went to at Atreyu or whatever that one was called, and we went to Atlantis, and we went to whatever, and then like it's just a quick montage of them going to the different planets and trying to find the coordinates.
Yeah,
unless it's an episode of Planet.
That's what I mean. That's what I started thinking, and I was like, "That's a lot, though, because that would leave 7 more planets. There's only 12 episodes. That's a real boring way to unfold your story, unless each planet is exciting. I mean, this planet had stuff going on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just watched
planets per episode. Like, you know, get in there and be like, "Oh, not here," or you could have some of those planets just straight blowed up. You know, Alderaan style.
I just watched, what was it, Davy and Jonesy's Locker or something, and each episode was a new planet they went to, or universe.
But that was like the whole conceit of the show. This has a different adventure going on. It's the, you know, I don't know.
No, they were trying to get home.
Yeah, I know. This wasn't. Say what you will about Disney. This wasn't made by. Say what you will about Disney. This wasn't made by Netflix, so it'll have like a conclusion at some point.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. They'll cancel it.
Get canceled.
I don't know.
They're gonna but with a conclusion.
Skeleton they didn't cancel Acolyte with a fucking conclusion, so
no. But I mean, I'm just saying that's the end. That's a different season. I feel like Netflix is just like, well, we did 7 episodes. We were supposed to do 12, but you guys aren't watching, so we're just gonna stop.
Yeah,
it's fine. We made them, but we're not gonna put them up.
You like them, but not enough of you.
No, that's HBO Max. Yeah, sure. We spent $200 million making Batgirl. We're not gonna let you watch it.
It's because they made more on the insurance.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But
it's a story for another time.
So, I mean, obvious. I feel like it's obvious, but we'll do the "Are you still intrigued? Do you want to keep watching?" And we'll start with Jack, because this is your podcast that I co-host.
Ooh, even though I look more like Chewbacca right now. Yeah, dude, still super fucking intrigued. Got pretty happy with what we learned already, and just more hunger for more answers. And I like being able to spitball theories with you guys. The mom might not be the captain, she might not be the supervisor, but it's fun to have those theories for now. It's good. This show gives me good bar talk.
No, I love it. I'm still here. I'm coming back next week. Like I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens. And then when this one started, like the first half of the episode, I was like, oh, great. We're going to start introducing this stuff, and it's going to be like next episode we find out what piece they learned from this.
Yeah.
But they pretty much like they gave you the whole setting of this planet, enough of the history to know what's going on. And like, I mean, because we can base it on other knowledge we have too. But it's like, here's the whole story of what's happening here without the minute details, obviously. And then it's like, now it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of it, I was happy. But yes, I'm still intrigued. I'm glad we're finding out stuff every episode. And that's kind of goes to what I was saying earlier with Acolyte, was like, you didn't really get information every episode. You just, sometimes you got another like, da-na-na moment.
Here's another point of view.
But this one, you're getting a little bit of information.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Which, I mean, the alternate point of view thing is something I'm okay with, but it's like, that alternate point of view needs to reveal something.
I mean, you could have got rid of the whole Osha and May storyline and filled it with more Manny Jacinto and had a fucking phenomenal series.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's television for baby children, so you got to have baby children be the stars.
Hey, it's not
maybe
my story.
They canceled it because too many people went to the dark side because of Manny. Like I was like, I'm Team Sith now.
Yeah. People watch the Acolyte. People watch the Acolyte and then started voting for Trump.
Oh.
The Sith don't sound that bad.
This is a
Make the Empire Great Again, which is a hat you can buy at our Public store. If you go to badmoviesworstpeople.com, badmoviesworstpeople.com, click the merch link, and we got a really cool red hat that says to make the Empire good again.
I learned a fact today that doesn't matter at all, but I just thought it would be fun. There are usually no more than 10,000 Force users in the galaxy at once.
Why is that?
Just the Force.
It picks and chooses who can use
Well,
it.
because the force flows through us all, but there's only so much that each person can
I thought
access.
it was a midichlorian.
So there's 10,000
Well, everybody
people
has
that are talented, that are that natural talented with the force, as opposed to us three would have to fucking grind it out each day to even make a pin flicker.
You say us like I'm not amazing.
Oh, you're amazing. You just don't have the force. I've had to get up and get you so many things that you didn't. They couldn't. You would have force reached all that stuff.
She's like, I do have the force every time.
I use the force every time. I use the force on you.
She used the old red eye mind trick.
So that's it for this week. Next week, we're taking a break from Skeleton Crew because we have a special presentation of the Star Wars Holiday Special for Christmas.
A doozy.
But we did not record video on that one because we got together as a group and watched the movie and
just had fun.
Well, by the time you're done watching that movie, you might be too drunk to set up cameras. Let me just put it that way. So it's going to be an audio only episode, but there will be an episode on the Star Wars Holiday Special. And Jack and I, who have both seen it before, I've only seen it once and then in pieces. Jack's maybe seen it a couple times.
No, about the same.
It was my first time.
Whitney had never seen it, and I was pretty sure by about 40 minutes in that I was getting a divorce.
Yeah, I thought I was getting a roommate.
We hadn't even started recording yet.
Yeah.
So that will be next week, and then the following week on New Year's Day, we'll have parts 5 and 6 of Skeleton Crew available for all you lovely people.
Lovely.
So
loves.
Don't forget, you can, check out HanTookShotsFirstPod.com and you can find, where to listen to us, some other information. I finally figured out how to make the website not look like shit, and I can post videos on there. So this video will be on there if you want to watch it again for some reason, or if you want to refer someone to it. And send us an email at HanTookShotsFirst.com. Wait, at HanTook. Do it again. Send us an email at HanTookShotsFirst@gmail.com. If you want to request anything, or if you want to ask a question, or if you want to tell us how stupid we are, if you want to correct Jack on his pronunciation of Ortolan, whatever it may be.
Bring it on, dude.
That's it for this week. I've been Derek.
Can't say remember no Jack.
I'm Whitney.
Good night and
rip 'em limb from limb.
Better. When your hand claps, it's like, well, what's the moment that makes noise? Is it here? Is it here?
It's the pull away.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell the difference between this and this on the video.
Did you get into my weed, dude?
Look, it just okay.
That's a yes. That is a yes for getting into my weed, dude.